Let's immerse the next 10 minutes with Mr. Srikanth Reddy of 23 Degrees Design Shift and his 23 GDS.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Srikanth from 23 Degrees Design Shift, Hyderabad. We are a 15-year-old practice, and we realized early on that it's too long a name to pronounce, so we cut it short to 3 DDS. I'll come back to what it means towards the end of the presentation. But yeah, when FOAID reached out, thank you, FOAID, for giving me this opportunity. They gave a topic to talk about, which I think is need of the hour for every architect to think about in whichever genre of works they're practicing. It's about restraint, practicing restraint. Where do we stop building and start belonging? We in Hyderabad, we are known, very well known for our projects in F&B. If you have been to Hyderabad and happen to have a drink in any of the good places, probably you have seen one of our projects. So to talk about stop building and start belonging in the backdrop of F&B, while F&B is perceived to be spaces with abundance to curate experiences, it's difficult to practice that, but not every time we get that opportunity to to practice restraint in this kind of projects. But whenever we get this chance, we truly grab the opportunity and work with the client to showcase restraint in whenever it is possible. So this is about a project that we are going to talk now. It's called Tabula Rasa. It sounds quite Indian, the name, but the origins of the word comes from Latin. It's called clean slate. So this client who came to us to build this, he already had one restaurant in the center of the city, which is Tabula Rasa 1. And this is Tabula Rasa 2, which we designed for him. But this specific client is really keen about maintaining the meaning of the name, or translating the meaning of the name into the space. Even the first project has that character to it. So he wanted the place that is like a clean slate that takes the shape of the community's interest where it is located. He wants the place to become a platform for community to conduct its cultural activities, be it talk shows, performances, live performances, be it flea markets, all sorts of cultural exchange to happen. While this is a restaurant, for him that remained very important. So yeah, this is Tabula Rasa. And this particular project is located in Financial District in Hyderabad. This is the new city we are talking about. This is IT corridor of the new city. So the whole of that area is filled with large land parcels with IT buildings, high IT buildings. And if you guys know that we don't have a curb and FSI in Hyderabad, people can build whatever they want, how much ever they want. So this specific locality is filled with buildings that are large, huge glass buildings. And if you drive around or walk around in this area, you'll realize you're walking between massive glass blocks, which are quite reflective, quite cold, with compound walls rising high and security cabins, and you wouldn't find anything inviting about any of this property. All the properties are heavily guarded for their own reasons, but the entire area is like that. And even the smaller developments happening in that area, people with smaller lots are trying to build as much as they can to get maximum benefit out of not having curbs and FSI. So you wouldn't see while you drive through, you wouldn't see anything or any pocket that allows someone to breathe, or any building that is inviting you to come experience the space. So this client picked up uh, 2,000 square yards of a plot in this vicinity, and we, as a practice, we derive clues right from the larger context to the micro context of the site. So the larger context asked us to contest it and contrast it in our design derivations. So this is where you have people working in these IT buildings spending about 8 to 10 hours straight in those glass boxes with very less permeability, very less interaction with the external environment. Uh, they spend the average audience here, which comes to this place, they are spending 8 hours in an air-conditioned atmosphere with very less interaction with the external environment. Sometimes they wouldn't know if it is day or night, if it is raining or sunny. So that also has become one of the primary factors for our design derivations for this project. And uh, tactility. All these IT buildings are defined and characterized by materials that doesn't pose maintenance challenges. That means they're heavily engineered and processed. So they don't, most of them, they don't behave, they don't breathe, because that's how they could get down their maintenance costs. But that also comes with the average clientele coming here, spending maximum of his time in this kind of environment, which is very, very engineered, very, very away from natural existence of the material. So right from how the place has to look or feel or be designed in its spatials to the material character for this project, everything is derived from the larger context in which it exists. So moving forward after this, we'll talk about a project where we are completely in line with the micro context. But this is one very interesting project where we are being appropriate with our design solutions just by contrasting with the context. So this is the plan of the whole property. Um, so most of the restaurants, you would see that their primary uh, what do you say, things that they sell is food, drinks, and service. But in this specific project, client's primary product that he sells is music, culture, and entertainment and infotainment events. So when he approached us, he said, I want a space which is not a room. I want a space which is not a he basically wanted open to sky pocket of so and so size. He said, I need maximum capacity of 200 people to 250 people to fit in, not more, not less. And it should be an open to sky space. And when I want it to be weather protected, I should be able to close it. So the whole discussion about this project started with something that's not supposed to be permanently built. So the first sketch that we drew on the drawing is a courtyard, because that's where his first product that he sells is provided. So we have a beautiful open sky courtyard. This site didn't have any trees inside the site, but all the trees that you're seeing around the site existed. So we introduced 3 badam trees in the courtyard, and we made sure they're not aligned or they're not organized, just to cheat visually that they've been existing there forever. And while this is a place of cultural exchange, it still has to make business sense. So it has 2 pavilions, one on towards the road, This pavilion is about 60% of it is indoor controlled environment, which allows him to sell, which allows him to cater for people in all weathers all throughout the year. And rest of the half, 40% that you see towards the right side is semi-open area. These are very important. Semi-open areas allow us to be quite dynamic with the functionality of the space. So this pavilion has a very interesting roof line that rises up towards the road and appears quite inviting for people who are passing by. And then we have a second pavilion, which is made of jackarch roofs or vaulted brick roofs, which houses one more semi-open pocket and the toilets that are necessary. So to the fag end of the site, we have the services block, which has essentials like kitchen and staff facilities and all of it. So you can see that the whole exercise started with drawing an open to sky pocket, which uh, uh, which becomes a courtyard by having something around it that defines and makes it a courtyard. So all these two pavilions and service block flanks around it, making it into an open sky courtyard. So I'd like to talk a bit more about uh, F&B and today's F&B scenario, what's happening in across India. Uh, we are getting to see that restaurants are losing their relevance quite fast in today's scenario, only because they are largely under pressure of hitting break even. So the investments that are going in, the material that is being used is all aimed at a short-term break-even point. So we are not seeing commitment towards either the facility or the architecture in these projects. And uh, act of restraint in materiality. So um, in this project, to make it much more relevant for it to walk into future without being tagged with a particular style or a trend, because trends change quite fast and places die out soon. So you're seeing a lot of restaurants being redesigned every 3 years or 5 years. So we decided to step back and limit the material palette to just three or four majorly used materials throughout the property. And we also made sure that these are least processed. Least processed means they have life and they can behave. So capturing the essence of time, materiality that breathe and age. Uh, so oxide finished walls, granite floors, leather finished granite floors, wood and jute panels, all of these materials, they age very beautifully if you allow them to. And this aging also translates into dynamism of the space. You don't find the space frozen in time or in its appearance. It keeps on developing, it keeps on attaining uh, the look and feel and tactility through the age. So while most of the F&B that uses highly processed material, you see the deterioration by age. But these are the choice of materials that makes it more engaging and beautiful by age. Yeah. So one more important factor that makes it relevant in coming time to come is multifunctionality of spaces. If you see the plan also, there is no furniture that is fixed. All of these furniture pieces are movable, hence making the space adaptable to any sort of function, be it live act or be it dining, be it flea market. Multifunctionality also makes it a much more appropriate solution. Then spaces being dynamic by time of the day and time of the year. The same pocket doesn't behave the same in morning, afternoon, and evening, because the elements at play here are not the material and decor items, but it's the sunlight, it's the It's the air, it's the sound, all of these things which are quite dynamic, which are quite constantly changing and attributes that character to the space also. This is the one more example. It's called 040, where we were not trying to be against the context, but merge into the context. This is about an acre's property of mango trees, existing mango trees. So the whole idea of placement of blocks is born out of the placement of these trees. So blocks were pushed aside, not touching the trees, giving such respect to the natural elements on the site. And if the word for the previous project is contrast, the word for this project is respect. Everything of the site is respected, from its contours to trees to boulders, while the ground is not manipulated but respected, and then the levels in circulation is designed accordingly, and the materiality of the building also rises up from the context. So every material used is humble. It doesn't pose stark contrast to the context, and it looks like it belongs there. And celebrating the forms of nature, you could see that all the blocks are moved so that no branch of any tree is pruned. Thereby, uh, we can state that this is more celebrating forms of the nature more than the forms of built environment. And yeah, so since we are completely aligned with whatever the context is, we are called 23 degrees design shift. 23 degrees is the inclination of Earth's axis. So it's a indirect way to say that we are inclined towards larger context. Thank you.